Hey everyone, it's been a minute, yeah? Sorry about that. But here it is, finally, at long last. Another episode of Clarity's Pro Tips, or if you will, in Clarity's Kitchen. So now, as you can see, I have gloves on. And I've also plopped all of my butter into my bowl. Get a little twist action going on in there. Shoot, how am I gonna take a glove off because that's how I stop the camera and I don't want to get this mess all over the phone. So that's a total of 2-to-1 flour to butter for those of you who are keeping track. Add the iced water, something like this. This is restaurant quality food wrap. I actually managed to get it in a small roll, but usually it's in a big roll. Now what I've done is I've laid my plastic wrap onto the board, which I scraped, by the way, with my handy dandy scraper. And now I'm going to take this pastry and just put it on there, right? And it's still sticky, right? I'm gonna have to wash my hands, but I'm not gonna go through one more set of gloves because that's being wasteful. Okay, and then I'm just gonna wrap it up, right? So there's one side. The other side, you want to make sure it's completely wrapped. No, you don't want air in there. That's what it comes down to. Okay, and here we are. Okay, grab the towel. Okay, so at this point, I could shape it kind of now into a ball. It's all plastic wrap. I'm not going to get dirty. And I'm going to put this puppy in the fridge. Now, ideally, you would actually put this in the fridge for like almost an hour. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to put it into the freezer for about 10-15 minutes and then put it to the fridge until we're ready to use it. It'll come out fine. It's a shortcut. I know some of you, and myself included, aren't into shortcuts, but you know, sometimes they work, and well, why not use them if they work, hey? Good pastry. So now that phase 1 is complete, we've made our pastry, we've wrapped it, and we've put it in the freezer for a few minutes and then in the fridge to get it nice and firm so we can roll it out. I'm going to take this opportunity to do phase 1.1, which is, of course, making some tea. Water's in the pot, burner, correct burner is on, and I'm going to make some tea. Which is apples. That's right, we're going to deal with the apples. So I have 5 apples of various sizes and colors and shapes. And I also have my handy dandy vegetable peeler. I have my newish knife that I ordered online. I'm actually quite happy with this knife. It works great. You don't have to have a knife like this to do apples. You can use any knife. You can use the best knife you have. You can use a paring knife, or you can use a this is my 6-inch chef knife. That's very useful for stuff like that. Or this is actually my favorite knife I use to work with in professional kitchens. This is an Asian chef knife, and I like the shape and the balance, and it's really nice. And this is actually one I paid some good money for. A lot of times when I'm working in professional kitchens, I use this kind of knife. This is a kiwi knife. It's made in Thailand. They come in all shapes and sizes. They're a very thin blade. They stay sharp. They hold their edge. And here's the best part. They are cheap, yo. You can get them for like 10-12 bucks on Amazon, or go to your local Asian food store and chances are they have them for under $20. And that way you don't have a cow and lo and behold your knife gets lost in the kitchen or somebody snags it. The other benefit of using kiwi knives is every time I come across a cook who doesn't have their own knife, I give them a kiwi knife. But enough about me and my knives. We're going to deal with with apples. So first thing you want to do, you want to make sure your apples are nice and clean, that you've gotten all of the stickers off, and that you've given them a good rinse to make sure you have any pesticides or people sides. People touch fruit. People that work in fields and sweat all day and do things like this, and then they touch your fruit. So you know, clean your produce, please. Okay. So we're gonna deal with our apples. So first we want to peel the apple. If you don't have a peeler, you can do this with a paring knife. You don't have to have this kind of peeler, but I find these peelers are the best. Actually, this one has this big, thick, ergonomic handle, and I don't like it as much as I like my cheap $3 one that I get at the restaurant supply store that they always seem to have at the cash register for impulse buys. Yeah, that's what chef's impulse buy is, peelers. But today I'm using this one, and you can see that I am just peeling this all the way around. Okay. Get as much of that off as we can. Alright, handy dandy new fancy knife. Alright, I love this knife. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and slice that in half. Now there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can slice it in half like I did, or you can just kind of slice it around the core. So then you have the center core like that, and you don't have to worry about dealing with this. Because when you have to worry about dealing with this, then you have to get other tools involved, like maybe a spoon. Now, if you have a melon baller, that works really great for this, but otherwise you can just use a regular teaspoon and make a little circle. And ta-da! That's going to take out your core. So those are the two ways that you can slice the apple. I missed some of the peel there, so I'm going to slice that off. Put that in the compost bin. And now I'm going to just, I think I'm going to do thin slices today. So I'm going to just make nice thin slices. These will look really nice in the pastry, I think. Alright. Okay. Now I'm going to pop those into my bowl. And then once they're in there, I'm just going to add a little bit of the lemon juice that I have hanging out here. And then toss them with my hand a little to make sure that they're coated. And that's going to keep your apples from turning brown. I'm going to take care of the rest of these apples and then maybe deal with that boiling water over there and make a cup of tea, and I'll see you back here in a few. So this right here is possibly the coolest thing I've found in a while. I'm not into gadgets. I really hate one-offs, but this one's totally worth it. This is a tea strainer. As you see, it has a nice little silk satchel there, and it's attached to a rubber disc that you can put over your tea bag. And I have my nice loose leaf Darjeeling that I really enjoy in there. And now I'm going to pour my very hot boiling water in there. And once I see the water's just about the surface, I can just let it sit there and seep, and I won't get any leave in my tea. How cool is that? I think it's awesome. I'm going to have to find some sweetened condensed milk for that now. So hopefully I have some in the fridge. Good news. I found the sweetened condensed milk. I have my tea made with loose leaf Darjeeling ready to go. I have my sweetened condensed milk ready to go. As far as I'm concerned, this is the only way to drink tea. I sometimes drink it straight, but this right here, this is freaking magic. Alright. We're ready to move on. Alright, we're back. I have tea to drink, thankfully. Oh my gosh, so good. Especially with the Darjeeling. Okay, moving on. Ooh, it's strong too. I'm gonna have a good pat. Alright, so I have sliced all of my apples, and every time I sliced an apple, I put more lemon juice and tossed it so they'd be coated and they don't turn brown. The next step is we're going to season our apples. So we're going to use some granulated sugar, some brown sugar. I'm going to throw a little bit of cornstarch in there just to give it that gooey factor. And then we're also going to use some spices. Let's start talking about the sugar first. So this is 1/2 cup by volume that I measured out using a measuring cup. 1/2 cup by volume is 4 ounces. So if I were to take my 2-ounce scoop, right, and do this, I should be able to do this twice with the amount that I have in here, which I am. So that's kind of cool, right? So, you know, one trick. But where this really comes in handy is our 4 ounces also of brown sugar that I'm going to add to this. So I'm going to do the same thing. Scoop. It's already packed in there. That's 2 ounces. That's 4 ounces by volume. Check that out. Pro tip. Okay. The other thing I'm adding to this mixture is my spice blend here. I have a teaspoon of sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, and a 1/2 teaspoon of cloves in this. I'm going to go ahead and pop that in there. In addition to that, I'm also going to go ahead and do 2 ounces of cornstarch, and this is going to give us that gooiness that we like. So let's do that. And just for kicks and giggles, I'm going to hopefully, oh, there it is, find us some handy dandy vanilla and throw just a little bit of vanilla in there. This is going to be, you know, about 1/2 teaspoon. You know how your vanilla probably comes in a bottle, something like this, and has a cap like that? I just stab it, and then I can, you know, dribble it. I don't have to worry about it pouring all in there. Another pro tip. I'm freaking hilarious. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and grab my handy dandy, where'd you go? Ah! My handy dandy spatula. And I'm going to mix all of these items together. By the way, while I was making tea and prepping up for this segment of the video, I checked on my pastry, which was in the freezer, and it's got nice and firm, so I moved it to the fridge. And it's probably going to need a little bit of while there in the fridge yet. So in the interim, I'm just going to make this and stick it in. Now, at this point, if you really want to make your apples interesting, you can add things like brandy or rum or something else that goes nicely with apples. Maybe gin if you were using a different spice set. Sometimes, most of the time, all of the time, I love to use cardamom in my spice mixes. And if I were just doing this with cardamom and maybe ginger and a little bit of granulated sugar, maybe skip the brown sugar, get that molassesy taste out, I would probably add gin to this, and it would probably be incredibly lovely. So at this point, take a look at that. Oh my gosh, that looks totally amazeballs! Yes, it does. Alright, so I think we're ready to end this little segment. What's going to happen next, I wonder? Well, what's going to happen next is I'm going to clear all this away and scrape my board once again, and we're going to start rolling out some pastry. I originally wanted to do Danish, which would have been great, but to do Danish we have to laminate the pastry, which means you need more soft butter. I have butter, but it's not soft, and I don't want to let this stuff sit out for 3 hours while my butter gets soft. So I think we're going to have to change our minds just a little bit about what we're going to do. Either a galette, maybe a hand pie, maybe a couple of both. So let me clear all this away and we'll get to what's next.
I know you're not mine, it's just my turn, but we can still have fun for now.